Why do so many older people start feeling sleepy around 9 p.m.? It might sound like a small detail, but doctors and researchers say this early drowsiness is a powerful sign of how the body changes with age. Once you pass 70, you may find yourself yawning, when you used to feel wide awake and wondering if something is wrong. The truth is, this isn't just about being tired, it's about deep changes in hormones, brain rhythms, and health conditions that all come together to reset your evening clock. In this video, we're going to look at 6 reasons backed by medical studies and doctors that explain why seniors so often feel sleepy earlier in the evening. You'll also discover how your body's inner clock resets itself, why sleep gets lighter and more fragmented as the years pass, and how daily habits like mealtime and evening lighting can play a big role. Each reason is important to understand, because it not only explains why you feel sleepy at 9 p.m., but also shows you what small changes can help you rest better and stay healthier. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of the science behind your evening drowsiness and, more importantly, what you can do to work with your body instead of against it. Stay with me until the end, because reason number 6 may surprise you the most. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Melatonin shifts. One of the biggest reasons older people start feeling sleepy around 9 p.m. is the shift in melatonin production. Melatonin is often called the sleep hormone because it helps regulate when you feel awake and when you feel tired. In younger years, your body produces melatonin later in the evening, which is why you might have stayed up comfortably until midnight or even later. But as you age, your brain starts releasing melatonin earlier, sometimes as early as the late afternoon. By 9 p.m., your body's already sending strong signals that it's time to wind down. Doctors who study sleep patterns in seniors explain that this change is part of what's called advanced sleep phase syndrome. In simple terms, your internal clock shifts forward, making you feel tired and ready for bed much earlier than before. While this shift is not dangerous in itself, it can be frustrating if you want to stay up for family gatherings, television shows, or evening activities. Take, for example, Helen, a 74-year-old woman who noticed she could barely keep her eyes open past the first half of her favorite show at night. She worried something was wrong with her health, but her doctor reassured her that her brain was simply releasing melatonin earlier than it used to. For her, adjusting her evening routine, such as taking a short walk after dinner and keeping the living room well lit, helped delay the strong urge to fall asleep too soon. The important thing to remember is that early drowsiness doesn't always mean weakness or illness. Sometimes it's just your body's natural rhythm changing with age. But by recognizing this pattern, you can choose simple adjustments to better align your evenings with your daily life. Number 2. Body temperature drop. Another key reason many older adults feel sleepy around 9 p.m. is the natural change in body temperature. Throughout the day, your body's temperature rises and falls in a cycle tied to your internal clock. In your younger years, the drop in temperature that signals bedtime often happens closer to midnight. But after 70, that cooling shift usually begins earlier in the evening, sometimes as early as 8 or 9 p.m. This matters because when your body cools, it sends a powerful message to the brain: it's time to rest. That drop in temperature works together with melatonin to prepare you for sleep. Seniors often notice their hands or feet getting colder in the evening, which is one of the signs that the body is already shifting into sleep mode. Doctors from sleep medicine programs emphasize that this earlier cooling is a normal age-related change in the circadian rhythm. However, it can make evening activities more challenging. Imagine Robert, an 80-year-old man who loves playing cards with his neighbors. He often finds himself nodding off during the last game, not because he is bored, but because his body temperature has already dropped, pulling him toward bed. There are ways to ease this effect. Keeping your environment slightly warmer in the evening, or adding a light walk before settling down can slow the early drop and help you stay alert longer. Even something as simple as brighter lighting during the evening hours can counter the cooling effect and signal your brain to hold off on sleepiness. Number 3. Evening light exposure. Light plays a far greater role in sleepiness than most people realize. Especially for seniors, the body relies on natural light to regulate its circadian rhythm, the internal clock that decides when you feel awake or tired. As people get older, the eyes allow less light to reach the brain's master clock, particularly in the blue light spectrum that keeps us alert. This means seniors may feel sleepy earlier in the evening, often around 9 p.m., simply because their bodies think night has already arrived. Medical researchers have found that this reduced light sensitivity accelerates the onset of melatonin. Instead of waiting until late night, the hormone rises earlier, pulling you into drowsiness, even if your mind still wants to stay active. It is not unusual for older adults to find themselves nodding off while watching television or reading, because the indoor lighting is too dim to counteract this natural shift. Take, for example, Margaret, a 76-year-old woman who loves watching her favorite drama series. By the second episode, she often struggles to keep her eyes open, not from lack of interest, but because her living room light is signaling bedtime. She later discovered that adding brighter lamps in the evening allowed her to enjoy her shows without drifting into unintended naps. Doctors suggest practical steps such as opening curtains wide during the day, spending at least 20 to 30 minutes outside in sunlight, and using well-lit spaces in the evening. Even small adjustments like using daylight bulbs or avoiding overly dim settings can help reset the body's perception of time and reduce the feeling of sleepiness at 9 p.m. Number 4. Decreased physical activity. Another powerful reason seniors feel sleepy earlier in the evening is reduced physical activity. Movement throughout the day generates energy, improves circulation, and keeps the brain engaged. But as people age, many naturally slow down, whether from joint discomfort, chronic conditions, or simply adopting a quieter lifestyle. This reduction in activity means the body burns fewer calories and produces less stimulation to stay awake. As a result, drowsiness often comes earlier, sometimes as soon as dinner is finished. Recent studies confirm that sedentary behavior is closely tied to earlier sleep onset. Without regular activity, the body lacks the signals it needs to maintain a strong sleep-wake cycle. Muscles tire quickly, blood sugar levels fluctuate more, and the brain begins to power down long before the clock says bedtime. The outcome: a strong urge to crawl into bed by 9 p.m., even if the night feels too young. Take Henry, a 72-year-old retiree who spent much of his day reading and resting after his meals. By evening, he felt drained and heavy-eyed. When he added a daily walk and light stretching routine in the afternoon, something surprising happened. His energy lasted longer, and he found himself naturally staying alert until a more traditional bedtime. The good news is that you do not need intense workouts to make a difference. Gentle physical activity, such as gardening, light yoga, or walking around the block, can strengthen the body's internal rhythm. By moving a little more during the day, seniors can push back that wave of evening sleepiness and regain control over their nights. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Medication side effects. Many older adults take medications for conditions such as high blood pressure, heart disease, arthritis, or diabetes. What is often overlooked is that a large number of these medicines list drowsiness or fatigue as common side effects. When taken in the morning or afternoon, the effects may build up and lead to an earlier bedtime around 9 p.m. In some cases, the medication directly suppresses the nervous system, signaling the body to wind down long before the night is over. Doctors have observed that certain blood pressure drugs, antihistamines, and even pain relievers can interfere with alertness. While these medications are important for managing health, they can quietly shift sleep patterns. Seniors might not realize that their struggle to stay awake in the evening is not due to just getting older, but actually tied to the pills they are taking every day. Consider Martha, a 74-year-old who began to notice she could barely keep her eyes open after dinner. She assumed it was age catching up with her until her physician reviewed her prescriptions. Adjusting the timing of one of her medications made a dramatic difference. Suddenly, she was able to enjoy her evenings again without fighting constant yawns. The takeaway here is simple: never stop or change a prescription on your own, but do discuss with your doctor if you find yourself unusually tired in the early evening. Sometimes a small adjustment, such as changing when a pill is taken or substituting a different drug, can restore balance and help seniors stay alert later into the night. This highlights the importance of being proactive in understanding not just what you take, but how it affects your daily rhythms. Number 6. Lack of exposure to natural light. Our bodies are designed to follow the rhythm of daylight and darkness, a system called the circadian clock. But for many seniors, especially those who spend most of their time indoors, this natural rhythm gets disrupted. Without enough sunlight during the day, the body may begin producing melatonin, the sleep hormone, too early in the evening. That's why many older adults feel drowsy by 9 p.m., even if they haven't been especially active. Recent studies show that seniors who spend at least an hour outdoors in daylight tend to sleep later and enjoy more restful nights compared to those who stay indoors. The light acts like a natural reset button for the brain, signaling that it is still daytime and delaying the release of sleep-inducing chemicals. Without this signal, the body drifts into an earlier and earlier bedtime pattern. Take Harold, age 80, for example. After his wife passed, he spent long stretches inside his home reading and watching television. Within a few weeks, he noticed he was yawning well before the evening news. When his daughter encouraged him to take morning walks, the difference was striking. Exposure to the morning sun helped him stay awake longer, and he began enjoying family calls and hobbies in the evening. Again, the message here is clear. Sunlight is more than just warmth on your skin. It's fuel for your internal clock. Opening blinds, sitting near windows, or spending time in the garden can all help reset your rhythm. Even modest changes like these can reduce the urge to fall asleep too early, giving seniors more control over their daily routine and quality of life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 7. Emotional and social patterns. As people age, evenings can become quieter with fewer social engagements or stimulating activities. This calm environment may feel peaceful, but it also reduces mental stimulation, making the brain more likely to shift toward winding down earlier than expected. Loneliness in particular has been linked to changes in sleep patterns, causing many older adults to feel sleepy day before 9 p.m. Medical studies also suggest that mood changes like mild depression or anxiety can alter brain chemistry in ways that affect sleep. When the mind doesn't have positive engagement or conversation during the evening, it can reinforce the body's natural tendency to prepare for rest sooner. For seniors who live alone or no longer have a partner beside them, the quiet hours can trigger both emotional fatigue and earlier sleep onset. Consider Martha, 76, who noticed she was constantly nodding off in her recliner by 8:45 p.m. After joining a community book club that met in the evening, she found her energy lasting much longer. Social interaction gave her both joy and mental stimulation, delaying the sense of sleepiness until closer to 10:30 p.m. Her example highlights how staying engaged with others, even through phone calls or small group activities, can make a dramatic difference. The takeaway is simple: sleepiness at 9 p.m. is not only about biology but also about how we fill our evenings. Creating rituals that include conversation, light hobbies, or gentle games can strengthen both emotional well-being and the sleep cycle, helping seniors feel more balanced and connected. Final thoughts. Growing older brings many changes, and one of the most surprising is how the body seems to signal bedtime earlier than it once did. Feeling sleepy around 9 p.m. is not just a matter of age, it is the result of multiple factors coming together. Hormonal changes, shifting circadian rhythms, reduced exposure to daylight, medical conditions, medication effects, and emotional or social patterns all play a role. These are not signs of weakness, but natural adjustments that happen as the years pass. The good news is that none of these realities mean you are powerless. By making small, intentional changes such as increasing exposure to morning sunlight, talking with your doctor about medications, staying physically active, or adding social activities into the evening, you can regain a sense of balance. Even something as simple as a warm conversation with a loved one or a short evening walk can shift the body's rhythm and make nights feel more manageable. It is also important to remember that every person is unique. Not every older adult will feel sleepy at the same time, and for some, going to bed earlier is perfectly natural and healthy. What matters most is noticing the patterns in your own life, recognizing whether they support or limit your well-being, and making adjustments where you can. At the end of the day, feeling sleepy at 9 p.m. is not the enemy. It is the body's way of adapting. The challenge is to work with those changes rather than against them, building habits that allow you to feel rested, engaged, and hopeful. If you take even one small action from what we've discussed today, you may find your nights calmer, your days brighter, and your independence stronger. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.